Next, I request Urvashi Jain to present on the topic Risk and Challenges in Entrepreneurship.
कहते हैं बदल जाओ वक्त के साथ या वक्त बदलना सीखो. इरशाद गाइस. कहते हैं बदल जाओ वक्त के साथ या वक्त बदलना सीखो, तब्दीलियों को मत कोसो, हर हालत में चलना सीखो. Hello everyone, I'm Urvashi Baid, presenting my paper on risk and challenges in entrepreneurship and how do we tackle them. So the lines I just said are very much in line with the cause that we have all gathered here for. Anagatam, a peek into future. The future, according to me, is not something that we enter into. It is something that we create. Moving forward, first and foremost, I'm extremely grateful to Team WICASA for giving me this opportunity. I would also like to take a moment to thank my family and friends who have been supportive all this while and have provided their valuable insights, without which I do not believe the presentation would have been possible. So, our discussion today mainly revolves around entrepreneurship. Now, here I have a question for you guys. What do you think when you confront words like entrepreneur, entrepreneurship? Like any one of you, if you can just give me a few pointers. Yes, sir, please.
Basically, entrepreneurship to me pertains to innovation, innovation in the business processes, innovation in products, product delivery, and its supply.
Thank you so much, sir. Great round of applause, please. Anyone else? Yeah, please. Yes, very nice. That's a good point to consider. Well, I think of words like ideas, innovations, as Sir said, strengths, opportunities, threats, hustling and grinding, all of that, right? So yeah, let's ask this question. Who is an entrepreneur? So, according to me, an entrepreneur is an initiator and a builder who can transform abstract ideas into the realms of realities. He is a specialist, an opportunist who can turn odds in favor. He is a visionary and an innovator. Entrepreneurship is definitely worth the hype. I consider the hype is very much relevant. So even I wish to pitch my business idea at some point of time in future over a platform like Shark Tank or not. Why not? That's a dream and might come true someday. India indeed is becoming a startup hub over the recent years, with the definition of entrepreneur changing every day passing by only and only for good. Entrepreneur is someone who seeks something new, something changing, something different in every day passing by. He is a person who will jump off a cliff and build a plane down the way. Being a CA student, I have this habit of analyzing things from an all-round perspective. So I dare not miss out on the same here as well. Digging well into the meaning of entrepreneur, let's move forward with its components. Risk and challenges. Definitely they are inseparable part of it, goes hand in hand with it. Risk. Indeed a very interesting topic. Risk involves exposure to losses. I believe every risk is worth taking as long as it's for a good cause. Because a ship in a harbor is safe. But that's not what the ships are built for, right? Similarly, a person who's like, bilkul risks nahi lene ka re baba, cannot be an entrepreneur, right? I hope you guys watch memes, otherwise my reference goes waste. So yeah, knowing your risk is very important and exploiting them even more. Because Harshad Bhai said, risk hai. So yeah, entrepreneur in his play field is exposed to a exposed to numerous sort of risks that we'll be discussing subsequently. These are the risks that we're going to discuss in the subsequent slides. Financial risk. Finance is root of any business. Any entrepreneur launching a new business would definitely need funds. So a new business should have some sort of financial plan within the overall business plan, showing income projections, cash flow required to the break even, the returns the investors are going to get. Failure at this point means the entrepreneur is risking bankruptcy, investors get nothing, project comes to a lull. Moving forward, technological risks. This particular area is very dynamic and very prone to changes. There are many concerns regarding to this. We have security attacks, cyber attacks, password thefts, security breaches, and whatnot. Competitive risks. To voice the word competition is to summon to the idea of establishing superiority over others. Entrepreneur needs to keep an eye over his competitors and should plan his actions accordingly. Strategic risk. Very well said that rowing harder a boat would not help if the boat is headed in the wrong direction. The substance or the essence of a strategy is to choose what is not to be done. We live in a very dynamic and a fast-paced world where the strategies are becoming outdated very quickly. Hence, getting yourself updated, as my fellow presenter said, is very important. Market risk. So market is a place which is affected by a lot of factors. It's a place where the products and services are offered. And again our Harshad bhai said, market ka masala XYZ ingredients se banta hai. So market these days has become very vulnerable to even the slightest changes happening around in the trends and fashions, possibly because of the social media outrage. Hence here, market analysis plays a very important role so that you know where you are and where you want to go, where you want to head. Moving forward, reputational risks. These risks mainly refers to the potential negative publicity, public perceptions, and all those uncontrollable events that can hamper your organization's image or goodwill, indirectly or directly affecting the revenues at the end. Last but not the least, political, environmental, and economic risks. So the very best fit example here I could find is of the COVID times. A pandemic once in a century we have witnessed. At least we can say the coming generation that we witnessed COVID pandemic. So during this pandemic and the post-pandemic period, a lot of things happened. Businesses were shut, things were disrupted, economies shattered. But I believe it somehow paved way to an India which could emerge as a startup hub. New ideas, innovations, flourishing, germinating, and blooming, indeed making our country a startup hub. Because modern problems require modern solutions. Now, after discussing all these problems, we ought to have the solutions to them. Problem without solution is of no use, right? So here I've tried to provide a basic, generic set of solution that we can, use to mitigate all the risks that we have discussed so far. First and foremost, weighing the risk. Knowing your risk, as said before, is very important. We need to have backup plans in case the idea falls flat. Next up, learn to plan and forecast the risk. Don't let your disappointment come as an amazement. You need to have a broad plan of your thoughts, actions, procedure, backups, post-success plan in order to reduce these shocks and surprises. Pursuing a new opportunity. It's said that entrepreneurs have those eagle's eye who can, easily catch deficiencies in the market and turn all those weaknesses into you can say, opportunities and exploit them to the best possible way. Reducing financial risk. Financial risk, I believe, plays a very important role and is indeed a very important concern for an entrepreneur. What happens is that when a business is at its earlier stages, entrepreneur tries making as much of revenue as possible. The thing here is that savings should not be considered as a particular cash balance lying idle at the bank. Savings should rather be considered as the first expense as and when the income is generated. Making adequate provisions for cash reserve is very important and will also help in a period when the organization is facing financial crunches. Last but not the least, insurance is the key. Just transfer all your risk and relax. Well, relaxation is not the point. It never happens though, but that's how insurance goes. Moving to the next phase of our discussion today, challenges. We in our lives do face challenges in and out. Then how can an entrepreneur not face challenges? Of course, he can. So there are many challenges and solutions to them that we will be discussing shortly. Maintaining a budget. Running a business is a very complex and a tedious task. It happens in an environment which is very uncertain and unpredictable. Hence, maintaining a budget helps you to stay prepared beforehand. Sustaining revenue. Money matters are always important. Hence, channelizing your funds into the correct direction also plays a very crucial role in the development of the organization. Staffing the organization. So there's this golden rule that I learned during my school days regarding staffing, is that right people at the right place at the right point of time. That's all. Managing employees and confidence. I believe human resource is the most important resource of an organization. It's not the bricks and the cement that make the organization. It's the people who can make it or break it. Hence, managing employees is equally important. Expanding the business and managing time. After a certain point of time, the entrepreneur may, want to explore new horizons of his working, may want to improve the scalability. Hence, prioritizing time, prioritizing your activities, planning, all of that plays a very important role here. With all this, I think we can reach to a conclusion where we can say that risk and challenges are indeed inevitable part of running a business. It's very truly said that entrepreneur literally has no enemies. Once he understands this, even the sky is not the limit. The only place where success comes before work is dictionary. The biggest risk is in not taking risk at all.
3 minutes left.
To be encouraged to take risks sounds absurd, right? Like, why would anyone want to, put themselves out there and get potentially hurt when they can just sit back and enjoy, play safe in their comfort zone? An entrepreneur is meant to break these conventional ways of doing business, to stand out of the crowd by doing something out of the box. This may sound like a cliche, but risk and challenges make you feel alive. Of course, they cannot be reduced to zero or cannot be vanished, but they can be prevented and mitigated. And that's how you become a successful entrepreneur. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Urvashi Jain. I request our session chairman, CA Dheeraj Khandelwal sir, to highlight his view on this session.
First of all, I recognize the presence of the Central Council member, my elder brother Rajkumar Dukeji, and let's have the big round of applause for the senior member over here. I can say that, when I was a student in 95, he was the chairman of the WIRC. When I became the, as a member in 97, and he was the Central Council member. So let's very senior member, and from last 30 years he's serving to the profession and as an institute. I think both the paper presenter were excellent. The topic was chosen about the CA as a CFO, and I was seeing the Raghavendra. What a fantastic way he was explaining it. And he's like rocking the entire the stage and interacting with all the the participant about the hi and hello, making sense that how you are keeping alive yourself, whether you have the constant touch in it. I think it's great. He explained about the various roles of the CFO, what are the roles are there, to responsibilities are there for being as a chartered accountant to work as a CFO. I think it's a great, the point is that the chartered accountant who thinks about themselves be as accountant, it's not only accountant. You can within 5 years or whether 10 years, but he already mentioned that within 10 years you can be a CFO, and the scope is wider, and scope is huge. And after 10 years, and then their goal going to be as a CEO of the company, and then next after becoming a CFO, next 5 or 10 years you can be a CEO. So I think the great examples he had mentioned about the chartered accountant characteristic and the CFO roles and responsibilities, and fabulous. So let's give a round of applause to Raghavendra ji for this fabulous presentation. The another presentation is, I think, very superb. I can say it's about the content-wise. I very much impressed with the young lady Urvashi Baid. I think she was mentioning about the risk and challenges, and the risk she covered entire all the risk. What the organizations has to fear about it, and has to be take it in the cognizance what the risk can be, how they can mitigate the particular that risk. It's a fabulous all the risks she's explored, and I can say it the challenges, and she beautiful way she described about the entrepreneurship in the starting itself, and had interactive questions to you, and what are the means of the entrepreneurship in your eyes and her eyes also, and the way I think is both the paper presenters very well, and in the last I can sum up in the way that entrepreneurship is the way forward, and every student, every member, every people has to be entrepreneur in whatever way. If your liking is be in the practice, you should be an entrepreneur to excel it. Entrepreneurship is about to take a lead, not to work on it, to take a lead into that particular field, to the to reach to the heights. So whether in the practice, or whether in the job in the particular area, or whether in the your could own ventures or own practice or your own business. So with this I present excellent way. So thank you very much for this presentation.
Now I would like to call upon CA Amit Agarwal sir to present memento to our judges, CA Amit Suvarna sir and CA Shruti Dhruve ma'am. I request CA Amit Agarwal sir to give vote of thanks for the session.